pick from Twin Lake, Michigan. Doing it for Hot Rod Harley-Davidson, number 77J, Kyle Johnson. In the number 2 starting spot on the TJ Burnett Farms Honda from Warren, Oregon, number 67M. Make some noise for Davis Fisher. In the 3rd starting spot on the Kawasaki of Simi Valley, he's sponsored, but he's on a KTM here today. Make some noise for 26E, Dylan Morin. In the 4th starting pick on the front row from Albion, New York on the KTM GE Capital, KTM 450, 94B, that is flying Ryan Wells. Your 5th pick on the front row from Mount Gilead, Ohio on the Kawasaki KX 450F, sponsored by Johnny's Vintage Motorcycle, number 17F, Jared Vanderkoy. And your last pick on the front row from Sunnyvale, California on the Bob Weirbach race team, number 23Y, Ryan Foster. That is your front row. Let's go back to row number 2 from Salinas, California on the Rod Lake Racing Honda CRF 450, number 30Z, Bronson Bauman. 8th pick, 2nd pick on the 2nd row from Cincinnati, Ohio on the Mike Butler Racing Entry Honda, number 34F, Andrew Butler. Starting in the 9th starting spot from Canandaigua, New York on a KTM 450, sponsored by KC Cycle Helmet World. Ladies and gentlemen, they call him the Flying Tomato, number 36B, Colby Carlisle. Let's move to our 10th starting spot from Howard, South Dakota on the Honda CRF 450, sponsored by Interlake Sports Center, number 25L, Michael Strabel. 11th starting spot, 5th on the 2nd row from Madison, South Dakota on the Kawasaki KX 450, sponsored by Interlake Sports Center. Make some noise, number 15L, Justin Minard. And the 12th starting spot, last pick on the 2nd row from Colbert, Washington, the only Suzuki in the field in the pro singles class, and he made the main here today on the Suzuki RMZ 450, sponsored by Colbert Power Sports, number 90M. That is Wyatt Anderson. In the 13th starting spot, way back there on row number 3, she comes to us from Crèvecoeur, Illinois, ladies and gentlemen, arrived by TSP Bikers PhD. Make some noise for 11P, Molly Terry. In the 13th starting spot from Warrington, Pennsylvania on the KTM 450, Bromley Brothers KTM Racing Entry, 54A, Dan Bromley. Starting in the 15th starting spot, the rest of the riders came from the last chance qualifier. This was the rider that won it. He comes to us from Sherwood, Oregon on the Walrath Trucking Entry, number 16M, Austin Helmholtz. Starting 16th, we're still back on row number 3 from Aurora, Indiana. The Daytona Short Track winner, sponsored by Wilhelm Racing, number 24J, Brandon Wilhelm. Let's go back to the 17th starting spot from Hoisington, Kansas on the TNR Racing Dan Clark Honda, number 31G, Dylan Bell. And rounding out your field, last pick on the 3rd row comes to us from Holly, New York on the RLJ Racing Wild Rides Honda, number 19B, that is Justin Jones. And ladies and gentlemen, that is your starting lineup for the Pro Singles main event. Before they fire up the engines, how about we put our hands together for the fastest 18 Pro Singles riders. This is our first main event of the afternoon. Track is just about ready to go. I'm thinking they're going to give them one lap to check out the racetrack. I don't know that officially yet. We'll wait and see. The riders pulling up to the line right now. Remember, you get your starting pick on the line so you can go wherever you want as to whatever hole is open on whatever line you would like to go to. Kyle Johnson, our pole sitter, he goes all the way to the inside of row number 1 with the 77J. Fisher lines up right to his right shoulder, so they all are liking the inside line right now. Molly Terry brings the 11P up to the inside of row number 3. Here comes Bromley on the 54A. Helmholtz pulls up the 16. They're going from the inside out. Seems to be the popular choice so far in this main event. We'll wait and see what the Grand National guys do and gals do in that next one. So the street sweepers going out the gate on the back straightaway. They're going to bring these engines to life here. Like I say, thanks to all you folks watching at fanschoice.tv. We know we experienced some technical difficulties earlier this morning. We hope we have those figured out here for all you fans all across the world. I'd like to say hi, and once again to say happy Father's Day to all. My dad's here, and my grandpa's here, so Father's Day, 3 generations up here. We appreciate it, and Dad, appreciate everything. Grandpa, call him Pa. We appreciate everything he's done for us throughout the years. So here we go. Well, the street sweeper kept going. I thought he was pulling out that back gate down there, so he said, I'm not done yet. Steve Moorhead's in hot pursuit on his Kimco scooter. He's going to go track him down. The Finley Flyer out there used to be national number 42. So they're getting ready to fire up these engines here. This is the first main event. Up next will be the 25-lap Grand National main event. They already gave me the starting lineup for that one, so we'll go straight into it. Shayna Texter making her first expert main event of her career. They turn that street sweeper back around, and he will head to that back gate. I believe they're going to give him one lap to check out the racetrack. Pro Singles main event scheduled for 16 laps, 18 of the fastest riders. Remember, we started with 38 riders. We narrowed it down to 32. And through the heat races and the last chance qualifier, we've narrowed it down to the fastest 18. Got Hondas, KTMs, Kawasaki's, Suzuki. Some of the bikes listed in this one, getting ready to fire them up as soon as the street sweeper is clear. And we'll send these riders off. One lap to check out the racetrack. We'll stage them back up in their starting pick on the line, and we'll turn them loose. 18 riders going to be just like rush hour traffic going into turn number 1 when they turn them loose. I believe the street sweeper is clear as they're going to fire them up any second now. Just a reminder, if you've never been to a flat track, there are no front brakes on these motorcycles. Talking things over on the radios right now. All right, they're going to fire them up. Here we go. We're going to send them one lap around, I believe. Call it a sighting lap since we've worked on the racetrack. All the mechanics will clear. All these bikes are 450 motocross bikes. That's how they start their life. Some of them actually have starters they stick in the side. Most of them can still kickstart. They have a lot of compression, so some bikes do not kickstart very easy. All right, they're giving one lap right now to check out the racetrack. Johnson leads them off the 77J. Davis Fisher, 67. Dylan Moore in 26E. Ryan Wells, Ryan Foster, Jared Vanderkoy, Butler, Carlisle, Strable, Minard, and the rest of the riders all taking off again to get one lap to check out the track. It's good to build up a little bit of heat in the tires. My partner Barry Boone told you earlier when he was roaming through the paddock area, a lot of riders do have tire warmers on to keep those tires up to temperature before they send them out. We're going to stage them up just as fast as we can and turn them loose. 18 riders, 16 laps around this Knoxville Raceway half mile. Johnson pulls up on the inside of row number 1. I'm used to him running the Kawasaki. I cannot believe he switched over to the Honda, but it appears to be working for him. So we got a Honda. Then we got Davis Fisher also on the Honda. Then we got a couple of KTMs. Kawasaki on the outside of row number 1. Vanderkoy, remember he won there at the Springfield Mile in the Pro Twins class, his first pro ride of his career, and he took the win. He'd be pretty happy to back that up here today. Track's clear. It's just about time. They pull him up to the line. We'll watch Matt Dayringer. He'll tell him how many laps, and we're going to turn him loose. All right, here we go. Main event for the Pro Singles. 10-second board is going up. It is time for our first main event of the afternoon at Knoxville Raceway. Round number 4 of the AMA Pro Grand National Flat Track Series. Here they go. And they are off. It is Fisher pulling the front wheel. Now Dylan Moore will lead them. Look at the riders coming through from the back of the pack up to the front in a hurry. Butler's one of those riders on the 34. Comes from row number 2 up to 4th place. Down the back straight they go. 2 KTMs. That'll be out front. It'll be Wells and Dylan Moore. And I believe Wells goes up the inside. Dylan Moore leaves it on longer on the outside. Here comes Fisher up to the 3rd spot. Fisher has to grab some brake. Here comes the 4th place rider. That will be Kyle Johnson. So he got a bad start. If he wants to win this one, he's going to have to pass some folks. KTM riders 1 and 2. Fisher in the 3rd spot. Here comes Johnson. Johnson maybe getting a little aggressive. Gets a lot of wheel spin back there in the 4th position. He's looking to get to the front in a hurry. Down the backside into 3. It's Wells, Moore in 1 and 2. Fisher in the 3rd spot. Now Fisher takes over 2nd. Johnson back here in the 4th position. Off of turn number 4. Back this direction on the front straightaway. It is Wells, Fisher, Morin, Johnson, Andrew Butler, your top 5. Let's go deeper through the field. Behind Butler's Colby Carlisle, Bauman, Vandekoy, Molly Terry's in ninth. Wyatt Anderson rounds out your top 10. 3 laps, I believe that's 2 laps in the books only. Fisher at the head of the class now. New leader. It is Dashin Davis Fisher bringing them off at turn number 4. Here they come back at us on the front straightaway. It's Fisher. Now Johnson's up to second. Morin in the 3rd spot. Wells in 4th. Butler's in the 5th spot. Looks like Bauman's trying to round the outside back here in 6th. Slips a little bit wide. Loses a little bit of ground off for turn number 2. Here comes somebody who's going to blast on by him. That's going to be Molly Terry's coming to the front. Molly Terry puts her head down. She's coming towards the front. Out front, Kyle Johnson now, another new leader. Johnson's been fast all day, ladies and gentlemen. Fast qualifier. And he is back out front. He started in the 4th spot, has worked his way up to the lead. It only took him 3 laps to get there. Now 4 laps are in the book. It is Kyle Johnson out front. Just recently celebrated a birthday earlier this week, and he's in the lead. Second is Davis Fisher. Third, Dylan Morin, Ryan Wells, Butler, and Carlisle round out your top 5. Johnson ahead this time as he goes across the start-finish line. Dash and Davis Fisher trying to hang on to the 2 spot. Dylan Morin was looking around the outside. Now he gets back in line. Johnson stretches out the lead. Last time by, he was ahead by 0.6 seconds, so a little over a half a second lead for your leader. 5 laps in the books here, Pro Singles main event. Kyle Johnson breaking away. Second, Davis Fisher. Third, back here is Dylan Morin. Then we got Ryan Wells, Colby Carlisle looking for a way around. Here comes a couple more riders looking through there. It's Bauman, Vandekoy. Bauman gets a little bit sideways, just about comes off the motorcycle over there off of turn number 2. Behind, right in front of Bauman is Molly Terry in the 11 piece, so Molly Terry's coming towards the front. Remember, she started deeper in the field. She actually started on row number 3, ladies and gentlemen. Molly Terry's worked her way up to 7th, and she's right behind Bauman now in turns 1 and 2. I'm talking about the 11P of Molly Terry's working her way to the front. Leader has stretched out a huge lead. He's ahead last time by 1.6 seconds. He's showing you why he was the fast qualifier. Halfway flags are already in the air. Pro Singles main event number 1. Kyle Johnson, Davis Fisher, Dylan Morin, Colby Carlisle, Ryan Wells, Bronson Bauman, and Molly Terry. Behind Terry's Butler, Vandekoy. Wyatt Anderson rounds out your top 10 as we are halfway through our first main event of the afternoon. Leader's all by himself over here in turn number 4. Seconds back here in the middle of 3 and 4. Johnson, 77J on the number plate out front. Dylan Morin in 2nd spot now. He's put Davis Fisher back to 3rd. Fisher, the Oregon riders, drop back to 3rd. Carlisle's in 4th, Wells in 5th, Bronson Bauman's in the 6th spot. Molly Terry's in 7th, and there's a bunch of riders battling for 8th, 9th, and 10th. 15L off the racetrack. That's Justin Minard. His day ends a little prematurely as he's off the racetrack in turn number 4. Justin Minard, South Dakota rider, his day's done. Carlisle's putting on a charge back here a little bit deeper in the field. New battle for 2nd place. New riders comes through. Davis Fisher comes through. He brings with him Colby Carlisle. Comes up there looking for his first podium, if I'm not mistaken. The Flying Tomatoes coming on through up to 3rd. 5 lap board has been shown to your leader. 11 laps in the book. Off of turn number 2, stinking up the joint. Way out front is Kyle Johnson. Look deep in the field over here in 1 and 2. There's 1, 2, 3, 7 riders battling for this position back here in front of the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum. They're 3 wide going into turn number 3. Everybody's battling for every position on the racetrack except for the lead. Our leader has checked out Kyle Johnson, Davis Fisher, Colby Carlisle sitting in the 3rd spot right now. Behind Carlisle's Dylan Morin, Ryan Wells. Then a big gap back to Bronson Bauman. Molly Terry's in the 7th spot. Behind Molly Terry, Jared Vandekoy 8th, Wyatt Anderson 9th, and Andrew Butler in the 10th spot. Your leader across the start-finish line. Here comes the battle for 2nd. Colby Carlisle, the Flying Tomato. I believe he's looking for his first podium as a professional, if I'm not mistaken. But now Dylan Morin starting to apply the pressure. Now Carlisle grabs a handful in the middle of 2 and gets the drive off of 2 down the back straightaway. I'm talking about the battle for 2nd place. Carlisle on the inside, Davis Fisher on the outside. Fisher on the TJ Burnett Farms Honda has to back off just a little bit down here in 2, so that puts Carlisle up to 2nd place. Fisher in 3rd, Morin in 5th, Ryan Wells in 6th, Bauman in 7th. Molly Terry back here, I believe, in the 8th spot, if I'm not mistaken. Nope, Molly Terry is still in 7th. Leader bringing him off of 4. White flag's going to fly this time by way out front. Last time by was almost 5.5 seconds. Kyle Johnson way out front. Carlisle in second. Davis Fisher says, I'm going to take a look up the inside. Carlisle leaves it on a little bit longer. Colby Carlisle in second. Fisher in the third spot. Dylan Morin in fourth. Last lap around the pro singles half mile. Here comes your winner way out front. Ladies and gentlemen, Kyle Johnson from fourth place up to the lead, and he is excited as he goes across the start-finish line. Here comes second place. Tucking in, getting as small as he can. Carlisle on the podium. Davis Fisher third. Dylan Morin in the fourth spot. Wow, what a good race. Ladies and gentlemen, how'd you like the pro singles main event? Kyle Johnson got way out front and picks up the win on the Honda. He won by 6.2 seconds over Colby Carlisle. Davis Fisher finishes in the third spot. Those riders will be on the podium in just a moment. Dylan Morin finishes in the fifth spot. Morin was fourth. Ryan Wells fifth. Bronson Bauman sixth. Jared Vanderkoy seventh. Molly Terry eighth. Wyatt Anderson ninth. Brandon Wilhelm from the back of the pack up to 10th. Ryan Foster 11th. Justin Jones 12th. Michael Strabel 13th. Austin Helmholtz in the 14th spot. Andrew Butler 15th. 31G Dylan Bell 16th, 54A Dan Bromley 17th, and Justin Minard rounds out your field in the 18th spot. There's Johnson going to get a victory lap, ladies and gentlemen. Your winner is going to get a well-deserved victory lap as he got out front and he checked out. Barry Boone's going to have the victory podium in just a second. The winner's taking the victory lap right now, so it'll be just a moment before the winner gets back over there. Barry, how'd you like that main event, sir?
I'm impressed. Kyle Johnson certainly did what he needed to do today. Got out front, walked away from the field. Of course, he had been fast qualifier, so not too surprising. I think I'm most impressed with Colby Carlisle here. I mean, coming up second, starting on that second row back in the ninth starting spot. That is a very, very impressive ride for that young man in the two spot. Looking forward to talking to him as well. And, of course, what can you say? Dashin Davis Fisher, another great show here. His young career is really taking off in high fashion. We'll have our victory podium coming up, Scotty, in just a couple of moments.
There's Kyle Johnson once again getting his victory lap. One more half mile under his belt, and he'll take his Honda to the victory podium. He's the only bike that gets to go up there on the victory podium. Just like in the sprint cars, only one car gets to go up there. Well, here comes Kyle Johnson's Honda with his mechanic on back. Possibly, I believe that might be his dad. Hard to tell from way up here. We'll get Kyle Johnson's helmet off, and we'll go down to the victory podium. And we'll start with third place. And just a second, we'll throw things back down to Barry Boone.
We'll take it right now, Hollywood. Ladies and gentlemen, what'd you think about that pro singles half mile here at Knoxville? Exciting to think we still have our expert main coming up, but first we will celebrate with our top three finishers in a highly competitive field of up-and-comers, and we're going to begin with this man from Warren, Oregon. Ladies and gentlemen, third place today here at Knoxville to the 67M, Dashin Davis Fisher. What a great race.
Thanks. Got the whole shot, but then Kale got to pass me, and I stayed there for a while, and then Dylan Morin got past me and then put my head back down and went on from there.
Davis, a great show. You had to earn it today. How does it feel to be third place here at Knoxville in front of this great crowd?
Feels pretty good. We've had a pretty consistent series so far, and
you're off to a real good start. Anybody you want to say thanks to?
Yeah, I'd like to thank TJ Burnett, Bob Blanford, Beaverton Honda, J&H Repair, Shank Racing, Arm Brewster Racing, Team 95, and Allied Motors.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Dashin Davis Fisher coming up third today here at Knoxville. I'm looking forward to talking to this guy. He started back in the ninth spot from Canandaigua, New York on the KC Cycle Helmet World KTM. Ladies and gentlemen, second place today at Knoxville, Colby Carlisle. Colby, great race. Back on that second row, did you ever have a think that you had a shot at being on the box here at Knoxville?
Pulling out there, I was hoping for a top 5 at best, but as soon as I got into fifth off the start, it was just working great.
Obviously, you just picked them off one at a time, just working your way methodically up to the front. Second place here at Knoxville, I know there's some people you want to say thanks to.
Definitely want to thank my dad. Mainly, it's Father's Day. Happy Father's Day, Dad. Nothing's possible without you. KC Cycle Helmet World, my mom, and just everyone, all the friends and family.
Ladies and gentlemen, he's done it from back in that 9th starting spot. Give it up one more time for Colby Carlisle. Pretty happy dad over here on Father's Day as well. Well, the man on top of the box is the man that gets all the glory here today. He's done it at Knoxville in front of all of you great fans. How about we give it up one time for Kyle Johnson? Kyle, you really did kind of stink the show up. They might not let you come back here to Knoxville. Once you got out front, you just eased away.
Oh, man, the bike was working great. Actually, I didn't get off to the best start. Started, say, fourth or fifth, right around there, and I got a good runs, and, man, the bike was working great, and I was able to work my way right to the front.
Yeah, you got out so far, you probably couldn't even hear a motor behind you, could you?
Oh, it was kind of nice to know that he had some breathing room and didn't have to ride as hard as he could.
Got his motorcycle superstore bell up here high in the air. Tim Clark will be glad to see that. Anybody you want to say thanks to here today at Knoxville?
Oh, big thanks to my dad. I mean, it's great to take my dad for victory lap on Father's Day. Couldn't think of a better way to celebrate it. Hot Rod Harley Davidson, All-American Cycle, Metalworks Restoration, Renthaw, Motorcycle Superstore, Bell Helmets, of course, Mom and Dad, Motion Pro, Spy, Saddleman, Answer, and Jared Mees and Nicole Cheza, and Nicole's dad, Mark, for helping me out all they have.
Ladies and gentlemen, these young professionals are the future of our sport. I think the future looks really good. How about a hand for all three of these young pros here today doing it for you at Knoxville? Scotty, that's going to wrap it up from our pro singles victory podium. We'll be right back with our start lineup for our expert main event.